Hey, all right, gang. Let's call this our November market report. Why not? Got some good news. CPI numbers came out, yesterday, day before. Inflation numbers came out today. Fed policy is working. Whether or not we can string these wins together consecutively and whether this is the actual tip of the bell curve, beginning of the end, and all that good jazz to be determined. But in the meantime, had an immediate positive effect on the mortgage-backed security market. I was looking at one lender's rate sheet. It was almost a point lower today on 30-year fixed benchmark than it was yesterday. I mean, that's great right now. So, I mean, that was like, I think it was like 6 1/4 or something. And they had ended off day before or 2 days before, I think it's 7 and some change. So that's anywhere from 10 to, 13% of your purchase power right there overnight. So, gang, we were talking about this. We'll throw that little video up in the queue. These next 4 months, right? This could be a moment. And this is not some Pollyanna speak. I would always hedge and err on the side of conservatism, especially with a long tail product like real estate, right? You don't need the haste, make and waste in this category. You can play this thing out. Nothing is so exigent for the most part, right? There's always, 10% of distressed properties, in any even healthy market. And those are exigent sales that have to happen no matter what. But for the rest of everything that moves, either in or out, these are paced, rhythmed, cadenced decisions that are taking place. And so I love the thought that these next 4 months could be great opportunities for buyers to marry and match up with committed sellers. And that's exactly what we can call the marketplace right now. These are committed sellers. These aren't the fair weather, dip in the toe sellers that we saw, in the last market, right? That were just throwing out these wildly overinflated list prices out there, just on a wing and a whim, seeing if somebody would grab it and, make their whole year, so to speak, right? So these cats out there right now, they're still winning, right? And that's the beauty of this market right now. Yeah, sure. Maybe we're all not winning to the tune of 8 months ago, right? On either side, but there's a nice chunk of equity that most San Diegans have sown in this last market and can still harvest to a beautiful tune. And if a buyer can find that and take advantage of locking in a rate, with a nice little respite, just like what we saw here today, and if those can get strung together, this could be a nice little moment in time before everybody else starts catching the vapors of this and, spring, late spring, summer starts to roll and do its thing. And I do get that those timelines have been communicated to me as being a little more on the blue sky, like, hey, we hope that's the case, right? That would be the least punitive fallout of the shitstorm. But Fed policy ends up working, and well, that could be exactly where we end up. And for the camp of folks that didn't take advantage of what we would think of these next 4 months, while everything's still a little moody and sleepy, and then if the rates even continue to get better, I saw one report saying we could get even down into the 5s by the end of 2022, these wins continue to string together, then, very well could be the case. So, a lot of words to say. Whether you're on either side of that conversation, you need a plan. Buyers, you need a plan more than ever before. Before, in the old market, you could just sort of happenstance around and bump into even a listing agent that was holding a house open, and you married up the right timing, with the right approach on that. You didn't even need a plan. You just pick up something that you wanted, a tune that you wanted, because you were begging, borrowing, and stealing just to get your name on a mortgage payment. And you were hoping that you got the front door right? So as we move through this space right now, a principled plan is going to be the difference that's going to make the difference. And for sellers, talk about a commoditized market that a listing agent was in the old market, right? And you could see people responding to this, by slashing commissions and their marketing budgets. I mean, literally, I saw so many listings that were promoted with iPhone shots in the old market, right? And you could see people responding to this, by slashing commissions and their marketing budgets. I mean, literally, I saw so many listings that were promoted with iPhone shots. And you're like, really, dude? This is $1 million home. Is this where it's at right now? All right. Offering, ridiculously reduced commission amounts. And you know how that conversation went, right? I don't have skill or value to provide. So here, let me just slash the entire budget, throw it up on this monolith called the MLS and just watch someone else sell it. So now, right now, more than ever before, the old school of marketing and promoting and actually the lifting of the selling and getting back into the, all of the fundamentals that got us here, so to speak, right? Combined with some of the new sexy stuff, like all the digital marketing, gang, this is the game now. So you got to have the best of the best on your side if you're going to win on either side. So that's not new or novel, but perhaps more important right now than ever before. So till next time.